Okay, new game. Yeah, I mean, I'm lucky to get the draw. Okay, we have a 2045 opponent, Ackerman Levy, or Levi. He's 2100 rapid, so this is a really tough opponent. Ooh, I dropped down to 1900 again after that last game. So, tough opponent here. He's 2100 rapid. Okay, we have a hyper accelerated dragon. And I believe in the hyper accelerated, I don't play the Meroxy Bind. I believe I actually play Knight C3. I remember looking at this yesterday or the day before. I guess I only play the Meroxy Bind against the accelerated. Okay, so I studied this as well, actually, a day or two ago. And this is a hyper accelerated pterodactyl, I believe, or hyper accelerated fianchetto. And I actually do take, and then after queen a5, I'm trying to remember if I play c3 or knight c3. Oh, so I know of queen a5. I'm not sure if queen c7 probably achieves the same idea. It's the same idea. It won't really affect anything. But I need to remember if I play c3 or knight c3. Now the odd thing, so yeah, so it's, I mean, it's a tough one. If knight c3, queen takes, then I could play bishop d3. Can I though? Not really. I mean, I mean, c3 takes the square from our knight, which is awkward, but it completely nullifies black's fianchettoed bishop. But the problem with knight c3 is it quickly becomes a target. So knight c3, queen takes, bishop e3. He can still just take because he's taking with check. So we can't play bishop e3. Knight c3, queen takes. Bishop d2. We're already kind of defending a bit. We're going to end up with a... yeah, maybe we could do that. Maybe knight c3, bishop d2. But white is really crawling into a little ball here. So knight c3, queen takes, bishop d2. And then, you know, like knight f6 or something. The alternative would be c3, queen takes, which isn't so bad. And then bishop e3. We're going to have to eventually put the knight on maybe b3. You know what? I'm actually going to go with c3. I kind of like the idea of completely shutting down this bishop. You know, you don't have to worry about that for the rest of the game, pretty much. So I'm thinking probably bishop e3, but I worry about, well, I guess I don't have to worry about anything. His queen is kind of awkward. Well, yeah, bishop e3. He might keep the queen on here because he might be able to take here in some cases if I tried moving this out. But I think I'm going to go bishop e3. Okay, yeah, he does what I thought. I could play bishop d4. Seems reasonable, but then just kind of gives them a free move from knight f6. Probably won't play here. I need to develop. As I said before, I can't play queen d2 because bishop takes. So maybe I'll just play bishop e2 immediately and castle. Might want to put it on d3 because if knight f6 is coming. If I put it on e2, knight f6. Bishop d3. Oh, I don't like how black is kind of dictating things and I'm just reacting. Also, knight c6 could kind of be a little bit annoying, but that's not so bad. Maybe bishop d3. But I feel timid here. Not how I want to be playing. It's okay. I'll learn the opening after studying this game. That's what improvement is all about. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm not sure about c3. I think c3 was fine though. Okay, so yeah, knight f6 comes. I'll probably castle here. Black does have knight g4. But I think I could just go like bishop f1 maybe. I'm not entirely concerned about that. I think I will just go ahead and castle here. In fact, if it goes knight g4, I might even just play bishop d4. I guess he could play e5, but then his bishop is... Well, his bishop is kind of limited anyways. I'm not sure if... Would he play e5 there? I'm not sure what you're talking about, Henry. Okay, so he castles instead. I might try to exchange these bishops. So maybe queen d2. Do I have time to play a move like that? I think I want to work on development. This knight is never going to c3 anyway. I should probably reroute to b3 as soon as possible, or even try to get it to f1 to g3. So I think I'm going to go knight bd2. Have to be a little bit careful with this pawn, sacks in this pawn, but I don't think that's a huge deal. Yeah, so I'm going to go knight bd2 seems very reasonable. Knight c6. So rook c1 looks like an idea, but maybe a little premature. I like that it's lined up with his queen, but you know, this pawn isn't going anywhere anytime soon. Probably premature. I might reroute this knight to g3. You can do it, Henry. So maybe rook e1, knight f1 to g3. Roy Lopez style. Plus, then I could play queen d2 and trade off the fianchettoed bishop. So yeah, maybe rook e1, just making sure I'm not missing anything. I've got plenty of time. Yeah, seems fine. So one plan I'm a little bit scared of from black is him pushing the d pawn and then trading this knight off. Because if I move this knight and he takes here, then... Oh, and actually, never mind. That's not a real concern. Yeah, he does it. Hopefully he's not stream sniping. But yeah, it made sense, right? Okay, so I think I'm going to continue with my idea, knight f1 to g3. But yeah, so knight f1, bishop g4. Yeah, because there's a problem with him coming here after. So if I go knight f1, bishop g4, like I might have to play h3 here. Is what I'm trying to get after. Knight f1, bishop g4, h3 takes, queen takes, and then he goes knight here, and he's winning the minor exchange. So I might have to play h3 first, which I don't really want to do, but I think I'm going to play h3 here. Okay. Now I think black has some moves like e5 or rook e8 and pushing pawn here. But I think I'm probably okay. Rook d8, yeah, okay, undefended bishop. But it'll be defended after knight f1. I think I will play knight f1. I think I'm safe here. Knight f1, d5. I've got to be okay here. Okay, he played 95. What's wrong with just taking and then queen c2? I don't see what's wrong with that. Just queen c2. Or, yeah, well, I mean, queen c2 is necessary. This is a possibility as well, queen e2. It's interesting. But I think I'll go in queen c2. Okay, so white is looking pretty good. We're much lower on the clock, but we did give black these double pawns, which aren't the worst thing in the world. The double pawns are underrated. Okay, continuing development. Rook a d1 would be a very natural move here. Maybe improving my knight. Don't want to play b3 because it creates this weak pawn. But this bishop is a bit awkward at the same time. I think I'll go rook a d1. Wait, rook a d1, bishop takes, can I go b3? Rook a d1, bishop takes b3. That just has to be good. He could go queen here, but then I go back to rook a1. That has to be fine. Wait a second, but then this bishop might fall. That might be confusing. Hang on. Rook a d1, bishop takes b3. queen a5, rook d1, rook a1 again, and then I can't. Well, that might still be okay. Oh, that's I think I'm okay there because he's still pinned there. And if he takes here and then I take and then he leaves, I'm technically up a pawn. Well, I would be up the exchange for a pawn is what it would be. I think that would be better for me. So I think I can play rook a d1, but there are complexities involved here. Okay. So if bishop takes b3, and we looked at it. So I think if bishop takes, I'll win the exchange for a pawn, which is probably pretty equal. Knight h5. What's the idea here? I guess he wants to get rid of this double pawn. He wants to come in here. But he'll just trade that double pawn for another one. But his bishop will be improved. And he wins a minor exchange. So that's probably good for him. And I can't play queen c1 because then bishop takes is going to work this time. So I think he's actually going to win that battle. Yeah, my position is starting to fall apart here. Yeah, I don't like it. I'm in deep trouble. I got plenty of time. But I don't think this game's going to go my way. Interesting idea would be, like, you know what? Bishop c1 doesn't even do anything anyways. He just comes here anyways. Doesn't even do anything. I can't stop this. Yeah, my knight is not doing very well here. Seems a bit silly. Thinking about b3 and just getting another bad bishop. Oh, that can't be good though. No, b3 can't be good. Because then this is going to be a huge target. Although I do plan on playing c4 eventually. Okay, well, I can't keep the bishop. I'm going to go b3. And I'm going to let him take here. So I think I'm going to go c4 now. He can do a minority attack, but oh well. I think I'll play c4. Anyone doing anything special for Christmas? Okay, rook d7, doubling up the rooks. He's doing everything correctly here. I might do the same thing, just rook d2. Not so bad, right? Not so bad. His bishops are pretty crappy. I mean, I've got that going. He's got double pawn, which aren't terrible, but his bishops are pretty terrible. Now, my real concern is this minority attack. I think that could be a big issue. I don't have a lot of time to think here. So I don't understand f5. I guess he takes here now. I don't really understand. Or he wants to take here, but the problem is I'm taking here. So I don't understand his move. F5. He may be trying to pressure me on the clock and it's backfiring. I don't know. Maybe he hasn't unleashed the fury yet. But pawn takes maybe is the best move, but I'm just winning a pawn there, I think. So I really don't understand F5. But looks good for me. I'm still alive. I like my B3 move before. I spent like 8 minutes thinking of it. Just hunkering down, locking down my position, allowing the knight to stay here because his bishops were bad. So allowing him to take this bishop because it was no good anyways. Okay, I'm losing focus there. I'm losing a bit of focus now because I spent so much time on that one move. Kind of burned me out. I need to stay focused because it's a complex position and I'm down to 2 minutes. Okay, takes the knight first. I mean the bishop. Takes. This is a very complex position. So I mean, I think I have to take here. Because if I don't, I'm getting skewered. Although I can, he'll do it again. If I take the rook, he's going to take again. Yeah, so I think I have to take the bishop. If he didn't have another rook there, I might have taken the rook. Because I have a check after. Okay, rook e2. That's a scary ass move. Okay, well, we have one move here. Oh, man. Oh, he's moving quickly now. This is scary. Scary stuff. I could sack the exchange and get a pawn for it because I am up a pawn. It kind of equalized, but then he's attacking here, so it doesn't work. I guess I'll take here. Hopefully I'm not, I'm just scared I'm going to miss something. But let's not get too low in the clock. I'm going to minimize chat just so I can definitely focus now. Could almost take the knight. Almost doesn't count. I have to take with the rook. Still really scared of getting trapped here somehow. But things are looking pretty good, man. I was in a really, 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 really bad position. At least I thought it was bad. But b3, c4 seemed to lock everything down in my favor. Or no, maybe not in my favor, but I seem to get in. He resigns. And that's a new personal best. Merry Christmas to me. Merry Christmas to me. Merry Christmas to me. Oh, that feels good, man. Because that's a tough opponent. 2045, he's 2100 rapid. 2100 rapid. Like, that's a tough game. And I faced adversity, man. Thank you, guys. I faced adversity because that was a tough position. Like, I did not feel comfortable. That was extremely uncomfortable. That'll be a really nice game to look over. Just going to take a look at my account. 2010 beat my previous best by 8 points. New personal best on classical. Woo. Feels good, man. Feels good. Now, it doesn't feel completely good because the game was, I did not feel confident about that game at all. You know what I mean? I felt very, very uncomfortable the majority of that game. But hey, we got through it somehow. Thank you, Henry. Merry Christmas to everybody. Oh, that's nice. I feel good about that. Yeah. Oh, 2000. Yeah, new personal best on Classical 2010. I'm gonna wait for that to update. While that updates, let's take a look at the game without the engine and then with the engine. So yeah, so this is the hyper accelerated dragon. And then if black goes here with the bishop, I think it's actually renames itself to like the hyper accelerated fianchetto. Sometimes it's called the hyper accelerated pterodactyl. I forget when one is the other. And I remember looking at this a day or two ago, and there's two main lines here. There's takes, and I think knight c3 is the other move, but takes I think is the main line and is slightly better according to Stockfish. And I think the main line after this, I'm pretty sure, is queen a5. And I really can't remember if it's c3 or knight c3 is a response. I just remember that taking is best. So he played queen c7, which makes sense because it basically does the same. Whoops! It basically does the same thing as putting it on a5. And I thought for a very long time here because I wasn't sure if it's knight c3 or c3. It's probably either. But I decided to go with c3. I just like the idea of never having to worry about this bishop. Or never say never, but it's, I don't have to worry about it for a very long time anyways. And just develop the knight in other ways. So I went with c3. This was an awkward move, bishop d3, but I didn't want to play bishop e2 because of knight f6, and then this pawn is kind of iffy. So I can, Henry, but easier said than done. These games are hard for me at this level. h3, yeah, I know. I play these type of moves a little bit too much. We saw in the last game, wasn't really necessary, but this pin is pretty annoying. Because I also wanted to move this knight out. I don't know. It wasn't the pin. It was the bishop. It was knight g4, and then the bishop being very awkward here. That's actually the main reason I played h3. Oh, knight a3. I think you're right, Mr. Saban. That sounds very familiar. If after this, I'm not sure if it's after c3 or not, but I remember it might have been knight. Yeah, it might have been after c3, and then knight a3. I think you're right, Mr. Saban. It rings a bell to get it to c2. Yeah, I think you're right. We'll see in a bit what I have in my repertoire for this, but knight a3 rings a bell here. Someone messaged me. TJ, is one of you TJ? Okay, knight f6. Yeah, getting back here again. Yeah, I'm not sure about this for black. Probably not the worst move, but there's probably better moves available for black. I'm wondering if possibly even something like e5 here. His bishop is already kind of cut off. Maybe it creates too many weaknesses, e5. Maybe he could play like b6 and fianchetto his own bishop. Doesn't look so bad. Not really sure if he wants to get the double pawns here. Also not sure about bishop e6, but it doesn't seem terrible. But I think his light squared bishop, it'd be better on this fianchetto. It really seems like it. And then this move, I thought for like 8 minutes or something. I felt really, 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 really uncomfortable here. But I just locked things down and then let him stay here. And his bishops are pretty bad. I like my decision making this game. And then c4 just locks things down. You know, an old me, say maybe a year ago, I think a year ago me would actually take here just so that we can keep this bishop. But that doesn't make sense for a lot of reasons. For one thing, I'm still losing a bishop in that. Secondly, I actually prefer my dark squared bishop over my light squared bishop here. And then I'm also losing a tempo doing that. So, but I think me a year ago might have taken the knight. Yeah, black's bishop I think would be a lot better here. Yeah. Okay, so I just copy him, controlling the file, and then I think f5 was just a mistake. I think black just couldn't. I think he was feeling a bit frustrated in how to continue because his bishops are really bad, and if we flip the board, look at it from black's point of view. I don't know. F5 still seems wrong here, though. Even if you look at it like, you know, when you look at it from black's point of view, it's actually looks pretty bad for black. Like, it doesn't look as scary as like from my point of view, I was very, very uncomfortable. But from black's point of view, even though he doesn't have any pressure on him, black also has really awkward pieces. These three pieces are very poor, in my opinion. You know, and black has a lot more space, but my position is actually rock solid, and his pieces are kind of weird. And he's got the double pawns. I still think black should have considered a minority attack. It's kind of hard to do, though. I've got so many pieces here, but that might have been an idea for him. Okay, but he plays f5, which scared me because that's a scary move to see. Because, you know, usually if an opponent makes a move like that, he's figured it out. He's got it all planned out. But I couldn't see the threat, and I was low on the clock too, so I had to play kind of quickly. But I did not see the problem here. So, I mean, maybe he just miscalculated the tactics here. Maybe he thought I wasn't going to take the bishop. Maybe he thought I was going to take here. That's my guess. I think he just miscalculated it. Otherwise, it doesn't quite make sense. Yeah, he probably thought I was going to like take here or take here, and he didn't consider that I could take the bishop. And then this move scared me a little bit too because he played it very quickly. But as long as I, you know, don't want to get into discovered checks. But even if I had gone here, I still would have been okay, I think. This actually doesn't really do a whole lot. I guess it would have protected the rook, but obviously I'm not going to go here. Henry says taking the bishop was a blunder. We'll see. And then he resigns here. Is that an early resignation? Because if he takes here and I take he can come in here. But he is down 2 pawns. You know, if I just take and eat and I don't know. This is hanging. I mean, I probably wouldn't have given the check because there's no reason behind it. Maybe I would go here. He could have probably played this out, but he would be down 2 pawns. Okay, let's look at that with the engine. And it is a hyper-accelerated pterodactyl. Maybe the pterodactyl is when the queen comes out or takes on c5. I'm trying to remember the difference between pterodactyl and just a fianchetto. Oh, here's Henry. Okay. Okay, let me load this up in CPT. Oh, so mainline, so yeah, yeah. So this is a pterodactyl. It's so it's a fin. Oh, I don't know why it names itself to a fianchetto once I play d4. It's kind of stupid. Oh. Beer is good, redeemed. Highlight my message. Interesting. Is there a reason that you said SSHH? Beer is good? Okay, so this is a hyper-accelerated pterodactyl. And yeah, so actually, so it's tied main line between knight c3 and d takes. But, oh my god. I actually have c4 here. What? No, I could have sworn I... Oh, sorry. The c pawns weren't traded. Sorry. Yeah, because I was like, what the hell? Yeah, the c pawns weren't traded. So, bishop g7, right? And then d takes. Okay, yeah. So, I ran this for 3 hours 20 minutes on Stockfish a few days ago, and the second main line of d takes. So it's actually the second main line that I played. Main line is knight c3, but computer doesn't like it, which is interesting. If you go back to here, so knight c3 is the main line or tied for main line, but it's not even in the top 4 or 5. I'm not sure if it's even in the top 5 according to Stockfish. It really likes Stockfish really likes d take, so that's what I went with. Interesting, hey? But it makes sense too, because if you look at this, look at the win rates. The main line is white has not won any more than black. But d takes, d5 have done a lot better. So, very interesting, hey? You heard it here first. Okay. So I took, and then so once, yeah, okay, so the hybrid, okay. So queen c7, oh, that's interesting. So queen c7 is not a move here. It's only been played once before. It's not the same as queen a5. Let's see why. Well, first of all, against queen a5, let's look at that, because that's the main line by far. So against queen a5, in my repertoire, I've got c3. So that was right, c3. And c3 is main line, and I guess knight c3 is just bad there, actually. Good thing I didn't play it. Black is actually... Oh, wait, yeah. Was I actually considering knight c3? That's kind of sad. Was I actually considering knight c3? Oh my god. Was I considering knight c3? Don't let me do that. How come? Okay, let's forget that happened. Okay, but... Yeah, knight c3 is the second main line, but why would you play that when you could play c3? This is not the game line. I know. Oh, I see what you're saying. But it's the same idea. Oh, I see what you're saying, because the queen. Okay, that makes sense. Because I'm like, what? How did I not do that? Yeah, so I was considering knight c3 here because, yeah, knight c3 is actually good here because there's not this problem. Thank you, Case Money, for pointing that out. Okay, but I wanted to look at queen a5. So c3 is what I have in my repertoire. And then after queen takes, I do have knight a3. Knight a3 is by far the best move. But I didn't research why. Sorry. I didn't research why knight a3 is the best. I'm assuming it wants to get to c2. Computer doesn't... No, computer's actually saying it wants to get to b5. That's the idea behind it. But I think the option of c2 probably doesn't hurt. But let's just say white makes a move like... I mean, black makes a move like this. Yeah, it's liking knight b5 or e5 or bishop e3. Yeah, it wants to hit c7. Maybe even do something on d6. But that's the idea behind knight a3. I think it's dual purpose. I think, you know, you can get to c2 in some situations too, and then you've got two good squares to go to. So I totally forgot about knight a3. Anyways, this wasn't the line that happened. It was queen c2, and I'm going to have Stockfish calculate this while I continue looking at the game. This is not a book move at all. Oh, computer says white is completely better here. It's giving 1.5. It's basically any move is good for white. It's liking bishop c4 currently is best. Or it's jumping around quite a bit. I played c3 here because I got confused. c3, I guess, is not even in the top 5. It likes knight a3 still. Such a weird move when I get knight a3. But, okay, knight a3 or h3. Yeah. Does not like c3, though. Okay. Doesn't like... Oh, we're actually in some type of theory. Some type of transposed theory. Interesting. Oh, I see. Because we're just in the... We just transposed here. Okay. When I played c3, we actually transposed into the main line. But here, I should have played knight a3, as we just discussed. That's a really hard move to find if you don't know it, though. Okay. What, bishop f4 where? It's not suggesting bishop f4. Okay. H3 was actually good here. Okay. And knight f1. It hates knight f1. Hates it, hates it, hates it, hates it, hates it. And you know what? Yeah, it wants d5. Yeah, I guess, I mean, I don't know. It's kind of hard. I've been playing the knight f1 g3 maneuver in the Ruy Lopez. Trying to figure out why it's not so good here. I think it's just not as well suited. Might be because there's a fianchetto here. And in the Ruy Lopez, there's not a fianchetto here, I'm pretty sure. So there are more opportunities to attack. And here, you're not breaking through this in this type of structure. So that's the only thing I can come up with. What's my elo? I do not have any elo. I do not have a USCF rating. Hello, Glass City Storm and Aditya. I have a CFC rating, which is about the same as USCF. That's my national rating. Okay, so what does it think here about b3? It's fine with b3. It's the third move. It says it's equal. Computer likes knight h2 or knight d2. But b3 was fine. How long did I think on this move? Wow, 4 minutes. I had 6 minutes here. I had 6 minutes, 50 seconds. I spent a full 4 minutes and 10 seconds on this move. I spent like 80% of my time. That was crazy. I think our math isn't equaling up here as good. Okay, knight f4 was the best move, and c4 was the best move. Knight d7 was good. Rook d2 was good. Rook a d8 was best. Rook e d1 was best. And then f5, as we, yeah, f5 is just a blunder. There's nothing behind it. He just miscalculated, and apparently bishop takes is not best. Actually, rook takes is actually better. I guess we get a Zwischenzug, I'm guessing. Rook takes, if he gets the pin, yeah, we have this Zwischenzug. And then we can go here. That's iffy though. I don't mind my decision. It simplifies things down. I also didn't have any time on the clock at 2 minutes. Instead of f5, probably anything. Yeah, anything is better. Everything is equal here. Bishop h6, rook d6, b6, h6, h5. Those are all equalizing moves. He just loses material here. But yeah, so I guess rook takes would have been better because of the Zwischenzug, but taking the bishop is second best move. And he was just down too much here. So perfectly resignable position. Okay, got away with that. And we learned something about the opening in the hyper accelerated pterodactyl. Knight a3 is the idea. So c3, stopping any shenanigans. And then knight a3, a weird move, but very strong move. By the way, in the position that happened, queen after, after this, after queen c2 or queen c7, which is not a not a book move. Stockfish in depth 29 is currently liking bishop e2 is the best move, just completing development, but it likes bishop e2 and just enjoying the development. Maybe get a Maroczy bind with c4, or you could castle. And white is saying that it's about +1. Even though it does not feel like a +1 position, computer loves it. Computer loves it right here, at least +1. Okay, let's just take a look at my account now, since I did set a new personal best. Let's see if the chart updated. Refresh.